I told myself yesterday that today was pizza day.
And what did we settle for instead?
Corn on the cob. With pizza.
Am I naked, Jazz? I was literally stretching just... Today is a rest day. We went out on our bikes. Moaned a little bit on Instagram. We've been speaking to Sam Price. And apparently he can't do hand luggage because he has too much training gear. Bro, all you need is a pair of shoes, some shorts and a t-shirt. It's CrossFit. Worked in Starbucks.
We did.
Hey Kevin, we're coming. We're coming to Germany. Hang out with you, bro. We're coming, Kevin. We're coming. Now we're here. Look at your arms.
All the pizza.
Bit of fruit, gets rid of the pizza. That's what I'm telling myself. How many spins can we get? Oh! Team, guess now. I don't know the answer, I'm gonna have to look back. Kind of missing the burnt orange, Jazz. Can we please put this car in a hustle wrap?
I would love to.
Can you imagine? Hustle made down the door.
Oh, she looks so
Be careful, no putting us on the floor for Mario or Luigi to slip on. Used to love Mario Kart. I always used to play as Yoshi. We got it all going on this morning in the car. Because you're all part of Team Richie. Nice of you to turn up today.
Morning. Yu-Gi-Oh was on the memo yesterday, last night. Old childhood program. I was like, yeah, I gotta watch this.
What time did you stay up till?
2 o'clock.
Snatch into a split jerk.
Mal, what is going on?
I just set a PB for a double from the hang with this, and I didn't record it.
Oh!
It's not on film, does it count? Is that the official rule? If it's not on film now, you don't count, you have to do it again. Stop being lazy. Weightlifting focus. Focus! Who says focus? Someone says focus. Happy with that, 110 for a triple. Okay.
3 lots. It's only 3 lots.
Yeah.
3 lots of...
Look at that face of excitement.
3 lots of 1600 meter row.
Let's go.
I'll start now, or actually lot
Let's go. Let's go.
And then we might...
Let's go.
He's not funny.
My decaf joke obviously didn't go down well last time.
People knew what you meant by it though.
Yeah, just you two, just not giving me the credit I deserve as a great comedian.
Great comedian.
I got my first Reband athlete newsletter this morning.
Yes.
Malk, gotta love him. It's like the Chuckle Brothers trying to figure out where to put the... Malk's looking for the prime sunspot.
I need it. You seen this? I scare a ghost on that table.
First two were kind of there. The last one I held a 2-minute pace for at least 300 metres of it, which meant at the end I had to do a 1:41 to try and catch up. Sucked.
What?
Look at you. I've wanted to do this for so long, like I've just been meaning to do it, and now I just was sat there and I was like, you know what, let's get the plates out and do it. First attempt, 1 plate, good. Kid dancing on a boat to 21 Savage bank account is literally the best video on the internet right now. Like, he's just going for it, like this kid, and then he just knocks out the, like, I don't like this like floss thing. I just, you know, like but I love the, I don't know how you do it, but you know, where they're like, you know, like, I love that. No, God! And the kid nails it in that video. Every time I watch it, I'm like, yes! Favorite video on the internet right now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account, yeah. 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 In my bank account, yeah.
I'm Danny. Give me 24 hours.
M's in my bank account, yeah. In my bank
Training's now fully breaking down. The Adventures of Craig Jazz featuring Rich. OVO Energy Woman's Tour.
Yes.
Look at that body.
Sarah and Roy, we are staying in last year's Energy Women's Tour, of course. Sarah and Roy of Australia looked to me like taking the win there on the line and getting
Some of these aren't very tall, Jazz. We found your sport. Great day. On the way home, the road was shut off. We went and watched the cycling. That was, I mean, it was pretty cool. Don't quite understand watching the cycling. You only kind of get to see them for 2 seconds over. That was a 4-hour stage. Watching it on the TV though is a little bit different. Anyway, probably the most requested thing for me to talk about recently is the CrossFit suing Reebok story. I mean, it's not a story, it's actually happening. There's been a couple of videos that have already covered it, so I'm just basically going to cover the basics at the end here, because to be honest, it's not going to make any difference to us as CrossFitters. Oh no, there's a fly in here. However, there probably will be a few changes. Right, let me get you up to speed. The actual official Reebok CrossFit Games has been around since 2010. There was an agreement written between Reebok and CrossFit in 2010, and it extended through to 2020, so a 10-year period. And in that kind of 10-year agreement, Reebok are the only company, they have kind of individuality to have the license for CrossFit. So, you know, like on the 6s I have here, it has Reebok CrossFit. Surprisingly enough, the actual Nano 8s don't have CrossFit written anywhere on them. You haven't seen CrossFit actually promote these as much as, say, the 6s. They like literally promoted the 6s to death, but you don't see. Oh no, it does have CrossFit on it here. Has CrossFit on the tongue. And the t-shirts, you know, like if you're a CrossFitter, you're supposed to have one of these t-shirts. It's literally like a must. Are you really a CrossFitter if you don't have one of those t-shirts? It's a question. Basically, in that 10-year agreement, Reebok were the sole headline for CrossFit, so it'd be the Reebok CrossFit Games, but also they would be the only people that could license clothing to actually print CrossFit on the clothing. So that's why you see when Nike bring out versions of Metcons or training apparel, it's called like functional fitness wear, not CrossFit wear, because Reebok have that individuality. But apparently, basically there's 3 parts that CrossFit is suing Reebok for. 1, for the first 2 years of the agreement, Reebok paid the correct royalties to CrossFit. But after that, an independent audit running up to 2017 actually showed that they were $1.65 million short in royalties paid to CrossFit for the clothing sold. And apparently how Reebok were getting around this is that they were doing the royalties off wholesale price, which is a lot less than the retail price, the selling price of the garment. Basically, Reebok just underpaid CrossFit on the royalties. Second thing they're suing them for, probably the most frustrating thing for CrossFit, is that Reebok apparently over the last couple of years have been understocking their shop.crossfit.com. So if you went on shop.crossfit.com to try and buy a pair of Nanos when they first came out, you'd probably have realized that they were pretty much sold out instantly, whereas if you went over to the Reebok shop and actually went on reebok.com, they'd have abundance of pairs. I mean, if you are running another shop, you shouldn't understock it, because then basically Reebok understocked the shop so they would get more sales through them rather than CrossFit. Why CrossFit bothered? Basically, they just get more royalties if they sell it through their own shop. So if they sell it through shop.crossfit.com, they get 10% royalties, whereas if they sell it through Reebok.com, anything that's licensed CrossFit, they would only get 5%. So obviously Reebok wanted a lot of people to go through them rather than CrossFit because they didn't have to pay as much. Again, CrossFit are losing out on money, but also they then quoted that they have lost 44% of business over the last year compared to the year before, even though CrossFit is exponentially growing, meaning that they've potentially lost out on a hell of a lot more sales and commission through Reebok doing this over a number of years. I mean, if you realise that CrossFit was always out of stock, you'd just simply go to the Reebok store and probably not go back to the CrossFit store again. Whew. But anyway, the third reason why CrossFit are suing Reebok is for basically Reebok have not got anywhere near meeting the marketing spend, which is probably a really, really hard thing to actually calculate and put together as a whole figure, because owning a clothing business myself, it's kind of hustle me. But it can get confusing what goes towards marketing spend and what you're paying out to, say, the athletes. Is that marketing? Basically, over the 10-year period, Reebok agreed to spend over $86 million with a minimum spend of that of actually 80%, which is around $68 million, which CrossFit is saying they haven't done at all. What are CrossFit looking for? They're looking for around $5 million in compensation, and also an amendment to the contract that will run out in 2020. What they're offering is to kind of scrap the last contract and bring in this new one that's running from 2017 to 2025. What's the big thing that's probably going to happen? Reebok are probably not going to be the main headline of the CrossFit Games anymore. Instead of it being called the Reebok CrossFit Games, it's probably just going to be called the CrossFit Games. And a non-direct competitor can come in and claim that after 2019. So they still hold on to the Reebok CrossFit Games for the 2018, but from 2019, that is open for discussion with non-competitive brands. So a lot of people have been saying that it might be the Nike CrossFit Games. It definitely won't be the Nike CrossFit Games. They're a direct competitor. And to be honest, Nike are one of those companies that are a little bit like Red Bull. They like to partner with events rather than be kind of the main headline sponsor of events. In my opinion, they're that kind of like cool brand that everyone knows about, that they don't need to be out there in your face. Nike already have a firm hold on kind of the CrossFit market, subliminally, without even being the main headline sponsors. They've sponsored probably some of the biggest athletes out there. Matt Fraser, Sarah Sigma's daughter, Cara Webb. You know, they got that kind of like cool CrossFit team. And there's always that battle between nanos and metcons. So I don't think they're that bothered about being the main headline of the CrossFit event and spending that money. They're already in the market. However, what I can see happening is Rogue coming in. Rogue obviously been a partner of the CrossFit Games for a very long time, grown with CrossFit, and have always been their kind of main equipment supplier. So I can see them becoming the main headline of CrossFit. Could potentially be the Rogue CrossFit Games. Sounds kind of cool. But it definitely won't be the Nike CrossFit Games. And this is where we'll kind of see a switch, where in the contract, they have extended the contract another 5 years with the fact that Reebok will be known as the authentic official outfitter of the CrossFit Games. So Nike can't come in and kit out all the athletes. All the official merchandise will still be printed CrossFit. All of the nanos will still be printed CrossFit. All of the clothes and everything will still be printed CrossFit, but now they're looking for an 11% royalty on everything sold. So they've upped their royalties. Which, to be fair, CrossFit, I guess when they first partnered with Reebok, they were a very small company. Now over the last kind of 8 years, it's expanded and exploded, and I'm sure the sales are incredible. So asking for that little bit more royalty, probably not a bad thing. And I don't see Reebok turning it down. So basically, more than likely, what we'll see happen over this kind of next coming years after 2018's over is we'll see a shift in the title sponsor of the CrossFit Games. Maybe it will turn into the Rogue CrossFit Games, and we'll see Reebok go to the official kind of clothing supplier. Whereas obviously now we have the Reebok CrossFit Games with Rogue as the official equipment supplier. There'll just be a switch. It's kind of a cool talking point. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a lawyer. I have no clue what's going to happen. I'm going to continue to do CrossFit regardless. I'm going to continue to wear my Nano 6s and Nano 8s regardless, because they are, to me, the best. I mean, this is the comfiest CrossFit shoe I've ever had. This is the most stylish CrossFit shoe I've ever had. And I have a bone to pick as well. On Reddit, there was a post saying all Reebok CrossFit gear is ugly. Talk to me, or like convince me, or tell me otherwise. Dude, how can you not think these are good looking shoe? These are the best looking shoe out there. Granted, the Matt Fraser new Metcons are gorgeous, but I just don't get on with Metcons. Hope that clears up some of the things that have been going on around it. I'll link down a load of other videos if you want to go and enjoy someone else talking about the suing issue. And thank you for tuning in. If you did enjoy today's video, as always, smash that like button, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Awesome.